Welcome to Money Through Ease, the podcast that helps small business owners overcome limiting beliefs and take control of their financial agency. I'm your host, Reagan Beshara, founder of All Ease Accounting. Join us as we explore ways to empower yourself and achieve financial success with ease. Business owners have to be creative. Business ownership is naturally a creative process. When you're a business owner, you're looking out into the world and you don't see something that needs to exist, so you create it yourself. You have something inside of you that needs to be expressed, and so you share it. Your business likely won't be successful or sustainable if you're sitting around waiting for someone to discover your work. So you have to go put it in other people's faces. And in that way, you are the creator of your revenue. Business owners create something from quote unquote nothing, something that didn't exist before, that we came up with using our brain power, our bodies, our experience, our cultures, our time, and our energy. Your business is unique because your brain is unique. And we are all creative. It's just a matter of whether you are practiced at tapping into it. Here's the capitalism side of things. And yeah, you heard me correctly. I said capitalism, not capitalism, because it's crap. Sometimes being a business owner is also the way you support your life, whether that's paying for housing, food, healthcare, and pleasure. You need time to produce products or services to create revenue in your business, and that provides you with an income. But we already know that perfectionism is capitalism and white supremacy's demand on us. And here's what it's demanding. Capitalism and white supremacy demand perfection from us, and especially if we're the ones running the show, that demand can seem suffocating. If we're not producing enough and it isn't perfect, we're programmed to think that nobody will want it, right? One thing we know about perfectionism is that we can choose not to focus on it. We have an antidote to perfectionism. And that's the following. Focusing on excellence. How are you showing up and being the most excellent version of yourself in your business? Whatever you have to bring to the table at that moment is excellent, especially if you're being transparent and you're showing up and giving whatever you have in that moment. It's creating a culture of learning and recognizing that mistakes are going to be made, and that doesn't mean that anything has gone wrong. That doesn't mean that everybody is imperfect. Mistakes happen, and we have to be okay with making mistakes because mistakes are really an opportunity to learn. Mistakes can sometimes result in good things. So whether you consider yourself creative or not, if you're a business owner, then I think it's true that you are creative. You gotta let go of perfectionism in order to be successful and productive. This means letting some of your work be shit. Letting other people be upset with you. Letting other people choose not to hire you. This goes back to the notion of consent, which means that other people have the key information needed to make the choice that's right for them. By not allowing people to say no to you, you've taken away their consent in that conversation. Perfectionism, letting go of that capitalist white supremacist demand on us means that you recognize that your creations are inherently worthy, and they do have value in the marketplace. But before we continue, a brief message. Attention podcast listeners. Are you tired of spending countless hours managing your bookkeeping? Not sure why your profit and loss shows way more money than is in your bank account? Let me help you. Book a complimentary consultation today, and I will evaluate your bookkeeping needs. I have over 8 years of bookkeeping experience with small business owners just like you. I provide tailored solutions to make your life easier. Don't wait. Book a consultation now and take the first step towards financial success. Here's what I know to be necessary for creativity. You also need time away from the demands of production to be creative and to allow space for creativity to flow. Rest is vitally important to creativity. Not having the time to rest can lead to your excellence being stifled. So when you're tired, burnt out, and hustling your way to a goal, that is shutting off that creative faucet. Hustling is what you do when you see your survival being dependent on how hard you work or how much you produce. Burning out is what happens when you see any time away from work as time wasted. Whether that time away is for rest or pleasure or just to do shit in your life that has nothing to do with your business. Lack of rest can result in your major systems in your body shutting down and going into disaster mode. You increase cortisol because you're anxious all of the time. You can't think straight because you're tired and probably sleep deprived. Your digestion gets out of whack, and we all know how that affects every other area of our life. That's why rest and pleasure are even more important than working to house, feed, and care for yourself. The shitty part of all this is that our economy is based on you having to work to make money and survive. So rest and pleasure are a necessity both for the creativity it takes to run a business and the care that you take for yourself. Because you're an animal in a mortal body with a human brain. And that brain is not much more evolved than our primitive ancestors. Your body is made to both need rest and it is made to experience pleasure. And both of those things support you running your business. Your business is a creative expression, and it also provides you with an income. Running a business is a delicate skill to be built. And that skill is figuring out how to strike the balance between, number one, the structure and constraint of time, energy, and resources. And number two, the rested, pleasured, cared for mindset that has the space to create something worthy and valuable. That is why I love working with all business owners, but especially folks who are quote unquote creatives. I know I said earlier that every business owner is creative, and I truly believe that. But right now, I'm talking to you out there who are specifically artists, musicians, performers, writers, dancers, and otherwise creating and expressing yourself to produce income. Not only is your body of work an act of creative expression, I think of it also as an active resistance to the capitalism that we live under. Your art has been commodified, and you've probably been told countless times that your work isn't good enough, that you didn't spend that much time on it for it to be priced the way it is, and that it's just not worth the price that you're asking for it. And yet, you create anyways. You show up countless times to let inspiration flow. You know that even the work that is quote unquote shit and won't sell is still work that is worth producing. And if that's not a big fuck you to this capitalist economy that demands you turn your inherent creativity into a job, I don't know what is. I'm proud of you, and I see you. And I believe that what you do is invaluable. We will always need you to create thoughtful, provoking, beautiful work that is both a commentary on our world and a distraction from it. So thank you. For everyone listening, I hope this episode was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks for tuning in to Money Through Ease. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to my email list to stay up to date on all the latest content. You can also follow me on social media at All Ease Accounting or facebook.com/accounting with ease for even more insights and updates. And if you're interested in learning more about my bookkeeping services, don't hesitate to schedule a complimentary consult today. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time.